Welcome to Community Forum. My name is John Golitino. I'm your host. We're going to be talking to one of our candidates for office, Dennis Perkins from the 1st Ward. He's going to enlighten us as to why he wanted, why does he want to be on the Common Council, what his solutions for some of our problems in Danbury are. Tell us a little bit about his background to begin with, and a few other things. So stay tuned. It should be an interesting program. I want to welcome you to the show, Dennis.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tell us, like I do with everybody else that comes on the program, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in Danbury, a little bit about your family, and if you want, touch on your work, and then we'll talk about the work you want to do as a supplement to the other work, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you for having me, John, once again. My name is Dennis Perkins. I'm running for City Council in Ward 1. I was born and raised here all my life. Went to public school, Stanley Ruff, then went to Broadview, then Henry Abbott Tech, and then went on to Western Connecticut State University.
What was your major? What was your major?
Marketing and minor in finance.
Okay.
So I love this city of ours. I lived on Clearview Avenue, which I believe is the 3rd Ward. I moved over to the 1st Ward back in 2006 till today, and I love the neighborhood, and I'm running for City Council. 3rd time, I believe. All
right, very good. What are some of the issues that, let's go maybe one at a time. Some people talk about the city budget, some people talk about the police and fire, some people talk about schools. A lot of people are talking about the roads. So those are just some of the things. Choose what bothers you the most, or what motivated you to run?
Well, some of the issues in Ward 1 is the roads. Nehemiah Road needs to be paved.
What is it? Is it cracking?
It's cracking, potholes.
Are they even making an attempt to fill some of the potholes? They're probably doing that, but they're not really.
Now they are.
Yeah.
Now they are.
It's interesting as the election comes.
It's closer and closer.
Now they're going around and they're paving,
filling the potholes.
Or filling the potholes at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is happening in Ward 1. The school, Kingsley School, is overcrowded. More and more buses is coming and going. So yeah, there's some issues in Ward 1.
There are a lot of people are complaining, that their kids are not getting the attention they should. But if you've got 30 in a class or 32 in a class as opposed to 25 in a class, their attention is spread around. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anybody say there's 40 in a class, because that would be impossible for a teacher to handle that. But the class sizes are definitely higher all over the city.
Absolutely, and one of the concerns is you can have a family of 4 that live across the street from King Street School, and their children could be divided. Some could go to King Street, and some could be shipped over to a different school district because of the overcrowding. That's one of the issues that I like to tackle and fix if it's possible. Another issue is on South King Street, cars just zooming down that street, 60 miles per hour.
So there's no enforcement?
No enforcement.
Interesting, they're running speed tracks running into Richfield, but you're saying they're not enforcing the roads on up there in the 1st?
Exactly. Exactly.
Have you tried to complain, or people have been complaining about the speeding?
Yes.
Speeders and all that up on the 1st, huh?
Yes, I'm not going a couple doors already.
No, I understand.
And our neighbors are expressing that concern. The children walk to school, cars are zipping down South King Street. We need a cop or a police officer stationed on that street.
And you know when they're zipping because it's not 25 miles an hour. Anybody knows that, hey, that car's doing at least 45.
Exactly.
And 45
it's a straight shot too.
And 45 it could be problematic.
Very problematic.
Where 25, 30, not so much, especially when the speed is 25. That's what it's set for.
True.
And
very true.
So somebody they almost have to wait for a serious accident before they say, well, maybe we ought to have some police enforcement in the area, and then people will slow down.
Well, let's try to prevent that before that happens. The incumbents, they're not really out in the community talking to people. On Crest Road, I talked to a couple of neighbors on Crest Road. Love the family. The gentleman's like 80 years old. He still cuts his own grass, and he has an issue with his drain. It's like falling apart. And people's not coming out there checking on the drain and letting everything go. It has to stop.
So did anybody complain to the city people to come out and do an enforcement action because his drain is coming apart, and he should. That's his obligation to fix it, right?
I'll talk to John Esposito. He's a councilor, I believe, in the 4th Ward.
Right.
We came out, excuse me, we came out, took a couple pictures of the drain and sent it to the city, and hopefully they're going to come out and look at it and try to correct that problem.
Yeah, so your thinking is the people that are there now are not doing their job, because people might say, hey, come look at this or do that, and apparently they're not doing what they're supposed to do as council people.
They're not doing it. So they're staying at home and sitting on the council.
Yeah.
And just voting one way. Get out into the community, into your neighborhoods, and talk to people. And that's what I've been doing. Me and my running mate, George Allowin, we're going to be out there. We're going to engage people. If you have any concerns, talk to us.
Right.
We want to be proactive, and we want to try to solve problems before they start. Now, I'm not saying we can solve every single problem, but if I can't solve the problem, I'll tell you why it can't be solved and what the potential solutions may be.
It might take 6 months, it might take whatever, but at least they'll know that the problem's being worked on.
Exactly. Just talk to people, and that's what I'm going to do. Just go out there and talk to people. And as you know, we have a golf cart. I'll be around the community, neighborhoods, talking to people.
What was that about the golf cart? I think you did that in a previous election, right?
Yes, I did.
You go around with the golf cart.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a condition sometimes.
So if they come around, if they see somebody in a golf cart, that's you.
That's me.
And you're going to come up and you come in the driveway and.
Up the driveway, right to the door.
Yeah, and,
right to the door.
Then you say. What do you say? You just say your name. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And you ask them what their beef.
What
any
their concerns
beefs.
is. What are your concerns? How can I help address your concerns? And that's what it's all about. And people really is receptive to the golf cart. They see a golf cart coming down the driveway.
Is it electric or?
It's electric.
It's electric.
No gas.
So you save gas.
No oil on the roads, no gas, no loud noise. It's quiet. It's just, straight to the point.
So how much of the ward have you covered so far? You don't have to tell me where you went, but would you say 25% so far? Have you gone to 50%? Or you?
Right now about 30%.
I've
been basically doing a lot of campaigning for Chris Otero.
Okay.
So now since the campaign is starting up, you'll see me out there more often. And I hit that whole ward about a week. So,
yeah, well, that's what it takes. If you're out there and people see you, get to know you, and they see that golf course and golf cart enough, they're going to say, hey, this guy is trying to get my attention, and he's getting my attention.
Well, thinking outside the box, trying to be creative.
Yeah.
Trying to reach everybody, and to talk to everybody, and it's been very effective. It's been very effective. Can't wait to get out there this weekend.
Okay. How many people do you have working with you? Do you have a few people that are working with you, or you're trying to do this all by yourself? Go to all of the doors, and then you have follow-up work.
Well, now since George was my running partner, we're gonna be doing it together, and then we're gonna be having like at-large candidates that are coming to Ward 1. We'll be on a golf cart and we'll drive them around too. So it's gonna be a collective team effort in getting the word out. But this is a very important election. You know, it's very important. We think Chris Sattel is going to win. We think he's going to be the next mayor of Danbury. And it's also important to win some council seats. So Mayor Boughton cannot just have his way every single time. And that's what's happening on the council now.
And what would you say the main problem that you have? I think the roads, the neglect of the roads is a major issue, even if they're working on it, because he was, quite frankly, was running for governor, and by being away from the city, wasn't handling it in a timely fashion.
Well,
the
he
road
neglected
work.
the city. I mean, he had 3 bites of the same apple.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for him, you know. But it's time to run the city. This is a great city. Yes, you know, I'm a bondsman as well. So yeah, the crime is down in Danbury, but everything else is being neglected. So it's time to work. It's time to get a committee together and get things done for the citizens and our neighbors in Danbury.
And he's only started to hire additional policemen, because the talk was a couple of years ago that the police were down. You know, we had at least 10, 15 policemen. That might have been why they're over on the Richfield border, but they're not over in the first ward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, overworked, working shifts back to back. You know, that's burnout. So, yeah, there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and we want to address them, but we have to get on those council and take over the city.
Okay. How do you feel about other things, other aspects? Education, for example.
Education is very important. Like we said before, the schools got to be controlled. It can't be overcrowded. We need more teachers. We need to fund the teachers. They're doing a great job. So a lot of stuff has to be done on that forefront. And I also like to see downtown Danbury. We have a great city, and downtown Danbury is basically dead. Let's bring people back to the city of Danbury.
Well, he seems to have done a lot of his emphasis on the west side. You know, the roads that have been paid are on the west side. Mm-hmm. The development or helping the development, there seems to be a lot more help, like Mill Plain area, that area. Schools, he's emphasized charter schools. And not the general schools, and you know, I mean, there's talk of what is better, and the emphasis of some, like the mayor supporters, is that the charter school is the way to go, and let the Main Street school lagger, and that seems to be what it is. You know, there's less money being spent than 168 other towns, you know, with the rate of growth, you know, that's, then there's some that say, well, we're not that far off, but when you're down in that neighborhood, 169 town, you know, your growth, and you're the 7th, 8th largest city in the state of Connecticut, you know, you would think you'd be spending a little more than being at the bottom of the pack.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely. And I think charter schools is the wrong direction to go.
Yeah.
I think we need, excuse me, I think our emphasis should be on the public schools. We have great school teachers there, and that's where the emphasis should be, not private schools, public schools.
Because people grow from interacting with others, rather than you know, you specialize in something, and you're taking the money that could go to the entire body.
Exactly.
You know.
No child should be left alone.
Right.
So everybody should be brought along accordingly, and we could do that.
Right.
And I think Chris has a great plan to do that, and we're behind him 100%. Now the west side is a great side. You know, I go there as well. But the west side is not downtown Danbury. People want to come back to downtown Danbury, and that's where the focus should be. Not just on the west side, but on the center of Danbury. Let's bring people to the focal point of our city, which is downtown. If you go to Stanford, their downtown is vibrant, it's beautiful. Let's do that right here in Danbury, and it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the emphasis is on the part of the administration that they let that go. You know, there's
a lot of condos being built.
Even though that you could say, well, putting some additional housing units downtown might get it going. I don't know. Usually, when you put people someplace, that might get it going, but that's a slower way because it's going to take several years, as opposed to, you know, doing something more proactive. You know.
True.
You know, any other issues that you'd like to get addressed? We never really had a conversation whether or not some of the zoning things that have gone on, you know, that some of the proposals that came and went, you know.
I had an interesting conversation with a few students at Danbury High School, and they were complaining that there's no playgrounds in Danbury. And it's a concern for them because they want to be competitive in basketball. And when you have cities like Bridgeport and Stanford who has playgrounds and the kids are out there every day during the summertime playing basketball, practicing and honing those skills, when they come to school, they're much more, you know, along than our kids in Danbury. So I like to see some playgrounds come back to Danbury.
We still have some playgrounds, but they haven't kept up the equipment that used to be there.
Exactly. So
you know, like the playgrounds you have down at Rogers Park, you got playgrounds that there's some of them down there.
I don't think there's a basketball court down Rogers Park no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that the courts and things like that were used by students are gone, and you have an area for kids, you know, that are like, you know, 9 and 10-year-olds and that kind of a thing, you know, or even younger, you know, the play yard, so to speak. And then you've got tennis courts and things for adults, and what used to be there for kids, you know, for high school kids, that's not there anymore.
Why can't we build a nice basketball court on Terrywell? Now, Terrywell is a big property. I mean, why can't we do something up there? I mean, there's always options. We have to explore the options and let's see what we could do.
Well, you have that entire Rogers Park.
Exactly.
And you've taken them away. You know, so why can't you just convert or use more of the land and put another court there?
True. The question is, why did Maryborough take away the basketball courts? That's the question that should be asked.
Right. They didn't want to pay for the baskets. I don't know.
But they
didn't want to pay.
kids.
They didn't want to pay for the lights.
Just hurting the kids.
You know, I don't know. And it's all about the kids.
It's all about the kids.
Yeah.
Want to keep them off the streets, keep them active, out of trouble, and one way to do that is to give them something to do.
Right.
Give them something to do. A nice basketball game underneath the lights. I mean, that'd be a wonderful thing. But it has to start somewhere. And that's why it's very important that this election, that people come out and, you know, vote for the best person that you think is going to do the best job for Danbury.
Right.
And that's what it's about.
You have a website that has your views on there, or maybe a telephone number and an email that if people want to reach you with questions, maybe you want to give it right now so we get it in a couple of times.
Absolutely.
You know, so the ones that have a pen and, you know, and paper near their chair, they can write it down, and the ones that have to go in the kitchen, they can get it later on because we'll do it again.
Sure.
All right.
Well, right now we're working on a website, but you can email me It's my complete name, Dennis Perkins Jr., no dashes, no dots, Dennis Perkins Jr. at gmail.com. My phone number is 203-482-3005. Call me or email me. I'll promise to get right back to you.
Very good. Okay, so let's get back. You seem to be more of an education candidate and fix the road candidate than you are on other issues, right?
Well, I'm a candidate that want to fix problems. Regardless of his roads, the schools, whatever the issues my neighbors might have, I want to help them.
Well,
and that's what I'm there for.
Let me frame it this way. The question is, if we're spending, our rate increases on spending on education is equivalent to the 169th town in the state of Connecticut, the bottom of the heap, because that's all that there is for towns. You know what I mean? And you know, there might be towns that like 20,000 people as opposed to close to 90,000 people. You know, so if that's all that we're spending, it's only a matter of time before our level of trouble will go up, because kids don't have anything to do. You know, they're not being motivated. They don't have basketball courts. They don't have things to do, and you're going to have more trouble if you don't have things to do and programs in school that will keep them occupied. Keep them engaged. Exactly. That's the word I was trying to get at.
And that's why, Chris Sotero has a great plan. Our mayor have neglected Danbury. The money coming in for our education is not there where it's supposed to be. And I think Chris has the plan and the solution to bring those dollars back to our city. But we need to go out there and we need to vote. 18 years is a long time. I'm pretty sure Mayor Bowden did some good things in Danbury and did a lot of things not so good in Danbury. But 18 years is a long time. It's time for change.
Right.
Time for change.
You can say if he had time to run for 3 times for governor, and he's been there 18 years, maybe he's been there just too long.
Where's his focus at?
Yeah.
Is it trying to be the governor for 3 times?
Or possibly one more time, because people are saying, well, he still has a lot to do, but where's he going to have a lot to do? He's going to spend the time on another campaign, or is he going to? They're starting to plug the potholes. Well, I'm hearing here and there, but the interesting thing about it is that for the better part of 2 years, nothing was going on. All of a sudden, we got a big drive going on, fixing the potholes and stuff. And guess what? The election's November.
Exactly, and that's probably his strategy.
Yeah.
Fix the potholes to get people's minds off of the election. But make up your mind. You want to be governor? That's great. Relinquish Danbury and let a mayor come into Danbury who's going to treat our city the way it's supposed to be treated for its citizens. And we think that's Chris Sotero.
Yeah.
It's time for change.
And the same with the parks. Nothing's going on. And nobody said anything about there's a new park program going on. And again, when people don't have anything to do, they get into trouble. Mischief can happen.
Well,
you got less going on with the education side. Then you got less to do as far as sports. The sports keeps kids out of trouble. The more you go in that direction, the more likely you're going to have trouble starting to rear its head up. And so it's time to change
gears.
that mindset.
I had a conversation with the school district in Waterbury, and they were doing something to keep their kids engaged. And I told the kids, stay in school, get a good education, and never have to use my service as a bondsman. Even though I'm a bondsman, I'm there to get people out of rough jams. But you as children, try to stay away from that situation. And the way to do that is by giving kids the options of doing something else to keep them engaged and keep them busy.
All right, so you actually talk to people out there, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had some conversations with people here that,
Absolutely.
you know, that's what they're saying. You know, there's a track that you follow,
Right.
and if certain things aren't getting done, you're going to go further down that track to where you're going to have more trouble in this, and the rate is going to go up, where your service is going to be needed. But then again,
Absolutely.
that's the wrong kind of service.
That's the wrong kind of service
that you want to see going
I want
up.
to see going up.
Yeah.
You know, I do other things as well. I promote amateur boxing shows, and we have a local boxing gym right here in Danbury, run by AJ Galante,
Yeah.
and he's doing a wonderful job with the kids. Is always filled. So that's what we need. We need people that's out here for our children, who is giving them something to do positive, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
I promised that people would get another opportunity of getting your email and your telephone number. So why don't you give your telephone number and email once again?
Absolutely. It's Dennis Perkins Jr. My full name, no dots, no periods. Dennis Perkins Jr. Jr. at gmail.com. Phone number is 203-482-3005. That's my phone number. Give me a call anytime. If you have any issues, any concerns, I want to hear about them. If I don't hear about them, we can't fix them.
That's right.
So that's why we have on the golf cart, trying to engage people.
Yeah, we've got about a minute and a half or so. They're not waving to me yet. So maybe just give a summary again on the things that you're most concerned about. And, you know, I know you're going to have another plug in there for Chris, you know, so go ahead.
Well, yeah, Chris Attell is a great candidate for the Democrats this year. We believe he's going to win this year. Everybody's rallying behind him. Dennis Perkins, running for City Council in Ward 1. Some of our concerns in Ward 1 is speed on South King Street. Our roads is not being paved. They're only being fixed by filling in potholes, which is not the solution. Overcrowding of King Street School, not a good thing to have. So we're out here trying to make some changes, make some differences in our community, in our neighborhood.
All right, now they're waving to me. So I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure.
All right, same here.
Always a pleasure.
And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in the Community Forum. Tune in next week, same time, same station, and we'll have another interesting program. Good night for now, and we'll see you then.